are 13. We are attending visual art and curatorial MA program. We are focalized on art in the post-fordism era.
The subtitles of my project is the undetectable sounds of the swamp. When I say soundscape, I mean a place full of relations. What I wanted to focus was dialogues between ants and dialogues between humans. I think that I create a very Kafkian space because I have the possibility to listen to an ant tall like me, maybe.
The project that we presented, it's called Swamp Pedagogy, a manual for the drift. Rather than having the classical and typical model of the teacher and the student, we wanted to think about a non-linear form of knowledge transmission. What we tried to think about is question of movement, the Deleuzian movement of the nomads in relation to knowledge production. We kind of tried to twist and kind of move on from the question of nomadism, and so we came out with the concept of the drift, to drift, which somehow resembled the idea of nomadic movement because it's neither a ritual movement or randomic movement, but there is a sense in the nomadic movement. The drift, it's a little more complicated than that because it embodies a potentiality. It's a potentiality of landing on some safe shores or going into the open seas in dangerous waters. Knowledge production, as we try to conceive it in our project, it's not tied to the question of functionality. Knowledge shouldn't be made with the purpose of solving a problem, rather it should allow yourself to reframe the way a problem is made to you. We started looking at that kind of knowledge that was embodied in the relationship between man and plants. And one of the main things, of course, beside building construction and medical uses is, of course, the question of cooking. On the manual, I think it's very interesting what we did in terms of reconceive the format of the manual, because the manual, it really belongs to the modernist tradition of knowledge transmission in a linear way. We really worked on this transparency of the manual to really give back this idea of knowledge as a stratification of information rather than a substitution of information.
I was trying actually to use people like a sort of human machine that have inputs. Every solution in the beginning is so utopical. And after a lot of work about technical issues and so on, that solution became realizable. But in the beginning, it's just an idea.
We want to create an experiment because before we build in the structure, we study the way in which the geranium can grow. And after this analysis, we have chosen the best measure in this case and the best shape that the maquette should have to help the branches of geranium extension. It's an architecture in which the plant is not an object, but is an organism, so is a subject of the structure. The aesthetic between the urbanization process in the swamp territory and in the plant architecture in the vegetable garden are very, very similar.
Food for Commons and Food for Life is about food in a wider way, where we would like to consider people involved in a community at the same way they are involved into preparing food. Whatever happened in our body with the bacteria, so with the human and not human part inside of us, may happen outside the body into the society. How you feed yourself and your body, you feed your mental abilities, you feed your mood, definitely inspire you to share these nice effects or gradable effects towards the others.
We went on an abandoned island in north side of the lagoon in Venice. in order to settle an observatory to study the new conditions of the Belt and Road initiative. We spent almost 1 week in that island. We found a bunker in the middle of the island and we decided to settle there our observatory. So we spent the first 3 days collecting materials and building some structure in order to set up an archive. And then the other 4 days we searched these dams, which came from synergies of productions